Hey girl, hey, welcome to Let's Talk About It. My name is Kiera, your podcast host, and this is going to be a safe space for honest conversations, real perspectives, and to talk about the things out loud that we typically don't say. So, wherever you are, welcome. Go ahead, grab a seat, get you something to drink, and let's talk about it. Today, we're going to be talking about the time I found out that I was pregnant. Wowzers. So, February of, sorry, what? 2025. February 2025 was when I found out that I was pregnant. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate, whether we were sexually active or not sexually active. We all thought that for whatever reason we could become Virgin Mary, right? And so if our period is a little late, we're like, hey girl, where you at? And that's exactly what was happening with me. Like, I felt changes in my body that I couldn't really pinpoint. It wasn't any physical pain, like no cramping, no headaches, no, whatever. I think only thing that I can really remember is like my nipples being sensitive. But other than that, it was just as if my aura changed. And I was like, something weird is different with my body, combined with the fact that I haven't had a period, in, a few days. And I want to say I waited it out until maybe like 4 days passed or something like that. So I decide to go and get a test. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like February 7th that night. I was like, hey, if she don't show up, bro, I'm be asking some questions. And on the 8th, I woke up and I said, you know what? As soon as CVS opened, I'm going to go get me a pregnancy test. And that's exactly what I did. I was at the popo gonna be knocking at your door. I was at the door of CVS by 8 o'clock in the morning. So I bought the pregnancy test. I came home. I took the test. And you know how you're supposed to set it down and like for a couple minutes, you're supposed to leave it alone for the lines to show up. My lines took no time at all. It was right there. And I just honestly just stared at it. I was in disbelief. Like, you ever see something, it's true, you literally seeing it with your own two eyes, but it's not registering, right? It's not settling in. So the funny thing was, I ended up calling my friend on FaceTime and I was like, I think I know what it says, but I'm not sure what it says. She said, send me a picture. She said, girl, now you know damn well what that say. And that was the story of how I found out that I was pregnant. I did later on do a follow-up at a clinic. They confirmed it, gave me my due date. And, that started my journey of like appointments and stuff. Was my pregnancy planned? No. Was I ready to have a baby? No. But I had to get ready. Did I always want to be a mom? Absolutely. Absolutely, I always wanted to be a mom. I think I can't say every little girl's dream, because as I've gotten older, and I met different people, everybody has different things that they want for themselves. And even them, they might feel one way one day and one way another. But for me, I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. Child, I've had like a girl name picked out ever since I was in middle school. And so after I was about to say, after I got over the fear, I was very happy. Here's the thing. It's like the fear stayed until even after I had him. You know what I'm saying? And there's still a little bit of fear because he depends on me. You know what I'm saying? But that was my immediate thought. I wasn't necessarily too thrilled at the beginning. It was just more so of, I have no idea what my future is going to look like. And to be in the unknown, to not be aware of what God's plans or steps are for you, it could be a very scary situation to be in. I would say while I was pregnant, I had a big shift internally. Like, you start prioritizing things differently. Immediately, I had to start getting things in order. Like, okay, I need to find another apartment. I need to get my doctor's appointment situated. I need this, and this. And it all happened so fast to where I almost couldn't sit in the moment and enjoy it, right? And then the move happens, and then the stress pours in, and then I'm dealing with this, and that. I'm getting further along in my pregnancy. I'm over the fatigue, but then I'm constantly working. I'm just kind of burnt out. Don't have time for this, don't have time for that. Emotionally, I'm just drained. It was a lot on the body, and I would like to say that for the most of my pregnancy, it was a good and healthy pregnancy. Um, Towards the end, however, I did ended up having a medical condition called preeclampsia. And with that is I pretty much developed high blood pressure, which I will later talk about in another episode. But um, there was stress, there was exhaustion, there was emotional distress, there was anxiety, all the things that come with being uncertain about what's about to happen with your life, uncertain if you could fully prepare. Because I really feel like you can try your best to prepare for a child, but you're not going to have all the answers, you know? And what I did was the best of what it was that I could do. I signed up for classes, and I did a lot of research. I went to like a breastfeeding class. There was a diaper changing class. I think also in that class they went over like bathing. I was really into it. I was on my algorithm on TikTok changed immediately. It was just baby this, baby this, baby this. um, but I will say, while I was pregnant, it definitely taught me boundaries. It taught me to leave people where they are and just accept what things are at face value. I think growing up, and when I say growing up, I don't mean just as a child, but I even think in my 20s that I would see things for what they are, but I ignore them. Red flag, green flag, whatever. I would see things for what they are, and instead of taking it as that and moving on, I want to take that red flag and turn it green. I always wanted to see the good in people, or have hope that things could change. But when I became pregnant, my tolerance became real low. My patience became real low, and not just me walking around being willy nilly. Like, I just don't have time for the foolishness. My life is a lot more serious now. You know what I'm saying? I have better things to think about, worry about, prepare for. My tolerance is just super low. So I don't have the energy to fight with people. I don't have the energy to have, petty arguments. Like, either you get it or you don't. And being pregnant taught me to learn my boundaries and accept people for where they decide to be. Because one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to beg people to be in my life or my son's life. So the things that you decide not to do, I'm not even going to argue with it. I'm going to just peep it and decide how I want to move on. And if that means that I have to leave you behind, then that is so. Will you be upset with it? I guess so, but guess what? I don't care. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. You have to do what is best for your mental, your emotional, as well as your physical at the end of the day. I can't keep sacrificing myself for people who aren't even going to be there long term, or for people who don't necessarily care or respect me or my well being. So I encourage you to do the same. And I'm going to pose this question. Can any of you relate that you had to pretty much start cutting people off or dropping people just because they no longer aligned with you? It was almost like a switch went off in me, and I said, no, I'm not tolerating this. It's like your focus completely changed, and you were just like, yeah, no. Things were easier to roll off the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? When I was pregnant, and I'm still that way. I want to leave you with this. Sometimes the events that go unplanned in our lives, the ones that are super unexpected, are sometimes the ones that lead us to the best version of ourselves. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. I want you to continue the conversation in the comments, share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.